Hello grade 6! Today's lesson is about modals expressing advice, necessity, and requests. School's out, but you're still not off the hook. E-learning is not. Welcome back to our virtual classroom. Hopefully, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify different modals and their functions. You will also be able to use modals to carry out important functions. And finally, you will be able to differentiate between modals that provide advice, offer suggestions, and make requests. In the previous lesson, we already discussed modal verbs, such as could, may, might, will, would, must, shall, should, ought to, and can. Here are examples of how modal verbs and some common expressions are used. I think you should go to bed, or you'd better go to bed, or if I were you, I'd go to bed. Each of these examples is used for a different purpose. There are several modal verbs, as we discussed earlier, but let's start with should. The modal verb should can be used to provide advice, or obligation, or to show a probability or expectation. You should eat more fruits and vegetables is used to provide advice to be healthier. You should save some money. Here it's used to provide obligation. A ticket to Paris should cost a lot. This is to show probability or expectation. You expect that the ticket is going to be expensive. Using have plus infinitive. In the present, have to or has to, and in the past, had to. Have plus infinitive has a special meaning. It expresses the same idea as need. For example, if you say people need to eat food, or if you say people have to eat food, this is the same. They both have the same meaning. Do, does, or did are used in questions with have to. For example, do you have to leave now? Or what time does Jim have to leave? For example, another example, what time does Rick have to go to summer camp? Must versus have to. Have to is more common in spoken English. Must is more common in written instructions and rules. Adults also use must with children. For example, people need food. People have to eat food. People need food. People must eat food. Did you notice how must is stronger? Must is followed by the base form of a verb. For example, Kylie must work. Although usually Kylie, she, we add s to the base word. It should be she works, but in this case when we add must, the verb stays in its base form. The main verbs of obligation are must, have to, and should. The past of have to or has to is had. Must is for personal obligations. Have to is for general obligations. For example, you must answer at least one question. See how it's used for a personal obligation? Modal verbs that are used to ask for permission are may, could, and can. They are used when you have a polite question. May I please borrow your pen? Could I please borrow your pen? Or can I please borrow your pen? In a polite question, could is not the past form of can. Here's a summary chart of some modal auxiliaries. Can is used to show ability or to form a polite question. Could for a past ability or polite question. May for a possibility or polite question. Might also for possibility. Must for necessity. Should for advisability. Will for a future event, and would for a polite question. You got this.